Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. Welcome back to my channel. Whenever someone tries to come into your life and take what's yours, it's because you have something that they're lacking. And for the more sinister people out there, some of them may try to swap with you if they feel like you don't deserve your blessings, if they feel like they can walk in your blessings better than you. And society would make you believe that that's something to be flattered by, but we're not silly on this channel. We understand that there are real repercussions and real consequences for playing into the flattery of a potential destiny swap. So today I want to discuss this movie that I watched recently on Hulu. If you got Hulu, go check it out immediately. And we're going to get into, this movie called The Ugly Stepsister and kind of what the theme and overall moral of the story was when it comes to destiny swapping, and also just a cautionary tale and something that we can all learn from, a story like this. So it's basically like a twisted Cinderella story where it's more horror than it is like, a happy movie. So in this movie, it's showing the perspective of one of the stepsisters of the mother who marries into a wealthy man's home. As you know, in the story Cinderella's father passed away. Before he passed away, he remarried a woman. Okay, so the stepsister immediately sees how beautiful Cinderella is. And so the entire movie in the beginning is just kind of her comparing herself to Cinderella, her seeing Cinderella's potential and, what she's capable of, but trying to get ahead of her by trying insane beauty regimens and procedures to achieve the level of beauty that Cinderella has and to ultimately win over the prince. So something I noticed with people who destiny swap and people who tend to want other people's lives, they're usually very male-centered. It's sad to say, but a lot of these women don't have anything going for them other than the attention that they can get from a man. They don't have their own money. They don't have their own success. They don't have their own path in life. They literally are just looking for someone to latch onto. And the irony in this movie is that literally the stepsister's mother was desperate and needed somewhere to stay because she was a widower, needed a man, needed connections, needed resources, and latched herself on to the most low-hanging fruit man that there was, which was Cinderella's father, who was also a widower. So again, it just shows like there's this sort of like family lineage of pick-me women and women who just need to latch themselves onto a man or need male validation. So with the stepsister, she immediately got started by getting her nose done because she got invited to a ball for the prince, and she ended up getting her nose done to prepare for this ball. She felt like she wasn't good enough or wouldn't be able to match up to Cinderella. The whole time, the stepmother and the stepsisters are sort of ignoring Cinderella, treating her badly like in any other Cinderella story. Fast forward, the stepsister, she ends up going to different dance classes to prepare her for this ball. Immediately, she's looking around the room at other girls who are more beautiful than her, maybe a little bit more gifted than her, and she's jealous, and she's comparing herself, and she's competing, and before you know it, the nose job isn't enough. Now she takes it upon herself to find this parasitic worm to swallow, almost like modern day Ozempic, okay? She finds a parasite to swallow so that she can become thin, so that she can become skinny. When she does this, she immediately starts acting strangely. It's almost like the parasite is taking over her mind. Not only is she losing weight, but she's also acting strange. Like she's becoming more obsessive with Cinderella and with other girls around her. She just becomes a shell of herself. And again, this is so common with people who like to destiny swap. People who destiny swap hate themselves because if you look outside of yourself so much and so often that you believe someone else's life is better than yours, it's like you're constantly looking to iterate your own life to match up to theirs. And so nothing is ever going to be good enough. You can get plastic surgery. It's not going to be good enough. You can go take a weight loss pill or some type of weight loss diet and you're still not going to match up to the next woman. This is what they do. They try all of the things. They're superficial beneficial, sometimes harmful things to their health. And it doesn't matter because they want to measure up to the next woman. They want to be able to say, haha, I can do this too, or I can be this too, or I can do you better than you. This whole time, the whole movie, she was trying to look like Cinderella. She was doing everything in her power, cosmetic procedures, taking a parasite so that she wouldn't eat as much. You know what I'm saying? Sickening stuff. As the movie progresses, it gets more and more dark. She gets more and more obsessive. They end up sewing eyelashes onto her eyelids, okay? When she goes to the ball, she ends up getting the prince's attention for a little bit. You guys know in every Cinderella story, Cinderella ends up, having to stay home and, they ruin her dress. Same thing happened in this movie, but she ended up actually going and, the prince was interested in Cinderella. Cinderella had a slipper, the slipper fell off, and the daughter, the stepsister, saw that Cinderella's slipper was with the prince. And so, of course, the prince is going around to every home in the village to see whose foot fits the slipper. When the stepsister finds out that he's coming to their house, do you know that this girl cuts off her toes on her left foot with a butcher knife with a cleaver so that her foot can fit? It's insane the lengths that these people would go. And this movie it's like poetic justice. It's so poetic. The metaphors in this movie are insane because it literally is showing you the ugliest side and the ugliest parts of being someone who hates themselves so much that they are trying to destiny swap with another person. Literally, she cut off her toes, all 4 of her toes, passed out. Her maidens and all the, handmaidens came in to check on her. Next day, the prince gets there. She couldn't even walk down the stairs because she was in so much pain. By the time she made it down, Cinderella already tried on the slipper and was off with her Prince Charming. And there she is with no toes on her left foot, her body sliding down the stairs, crying and screaming because she realized that she did all these things. She got her nose broken and she was wearing this nose brace for the whole movie, and she didn't get the prince. She swallowed a parasitic worm that was supposed to help her lose weight. That didn't get her the prince. Her mom spent her stepfather, which is Cinderella's father's money to get her the best gown to go to the ball. That didn't work. The money that was meant for Cinderella to have, the money that Cinderella's father left for her, they used for the stepsister to get this beautiful, extravagant gown. That didn't even get the prince's attention for too long. She even tried to cut off her toes to fit into Cinderella's shoe. She was even that desperate to mutilate herself to fit into Cinderella's shoe, to fit into the chosen one's shoe. And she ended up losing, and Cinderella ran off into the sunset with her Prince Charming, and she just looked back at the girl with pity. She didn't even laugh at her. She could have laughed at her. She could have said, haha, that's what you get. But she just kind of looked back with pity. Because that is a pitiful person. And so that's what I'm here to tell you today. A lot of you are Cinderella in your own ways. Things have been very difficult for you. You may not have had the outcomes that you've always wanted in life. A lot of things weren't in your favor. And as you began to grow up, you glowed up, you elevated, things started, coming into fruition, and you started to privilege stack and become the pretty privileged, beautiful woman that you are today, walking in your essence and your power, shining brightly, being chosen. As you're walking your path, you meet ugly stepsisters who hate themselves and hate you because you did the work, because you overcame, because you struggled but decided to pull yourself up and become greater than you were yesterday. Instead of them doing the work, they tried to take shortcuts, like in this movie, getting cosmetic procedures, and still not happy with their look, still not happy with the outcome because it's not getting the man or it's not getting the attention of whoever. Cutting up their bodies, mutilating their bodies, taking substances, literally crashing out to be half the person you are. This is the makings of a destiny swapper. This is the makings of someone who can't stand that you are content with self, that you're happy, you're beautiful, you're thriving. They don't care that you had a rough upbringing. They don't care that you struggled, just like in this movie. The stepsister knew exactly what Cinderella was going through. She had no pity for her. She had no sympathy for her. She said, oh, you know what? I'm going to take all of this over. This is all about to be mine. She made Cinderella move out of her own room in this movie. And she began to use Cinderella's room and her mirror, her vanity set up, wearing her clothes, like literal destiny swap before our eyes in this movie. all for her to lose in the end. And this is the thing, ladies. I've dealt with this firsthand with many people, past friends. Like, I even had one friend more recently, I want to say like 2-3 years ago, who, played the long game with me, acted like she really liked me, but she was trying to destiny swap the entire time. Once I caught on and I cut her off, do you know that she turned around and tried to do everything I was doing? She tried to start the same type of business. She went and got on weight loss pills to get skinny, or a shot to get skinny. She went and got her nose done. Like, this is why I'm doing this video, because there are so many parallels in this movie to my own personal experiences. And I just had to share this with you all. And if you have struggled or are currently struggling with destiny swapping, with people trying to copy your identity because you inspire them, go ahead and click the link in the description box to set up a time for me to send you a personalized voice recording for anything you're going through. Girl chat, just want to vent, that's okay too. You can also check out the testimonials of the other subbies who have worked with me with this coaching. So I'm curious, have you guys dealt with an ugly stepsister before? And not a literal stepsister, but just someone who either was a family member or a friend or just a coworker, an acquaintance, whoever, who came into your life, saw what you had, wanted it, and did everything to get it, but failed. I'd love to hear your stories in the comment section down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.